Hello guys, welcome to a new video on Tower of God New World, and in this video I'm going to do the character review for Data Mascheny. I will go over the usual points, so we're going to talk about how good this unit is, skills, equipment, gear, ignition weapon, rapport, revolution, and a final showcase. And yeah, we can just get started with the first point, how good this unit is, and also why I decided to cover this unit. And I will say that this unit is super good already and no investment whatsoever, but she will have only one role in that scenario, and that is the role of a stall tank, because she cannot die in less than 10 seconds. So that's a pretty good thing. I will say it will allow you, no matter the deficit, to have a frontline unit for at the very least 10 seconds. So that alone just guarantees a high ranking for this unit. But if you happen to fully invest in her and also unlock the revolution and invest in a subnodes, she can also deal a shit ton of damage. So yeah, I think it made sense to cover her in this video to also show you guys what you can expect from her if you decide to invest in this unit. And yeah, that's pretty much how good this unit is. Definitely top tier in the list, as you also know from my tier list ranking. She's definitely already useful as a stall tank, but definitely gets a lot better with the revolution investment, as I just said. So yeah, that's pretty much it. We can go over the skills. The passive is probably the core of the reason why this unit is really strong even on no dupes. And the first part is just the first time she drops below 40% HP, she's going to remove all status effects on her and swallow a lightning peel. This lightning peel will give her a 100 lightning peel gauge, and the effects of this passive are going to be removed when the gauge hits 0. The lightning peel gauge decreases by 10 every second, but increases by 10 whenever Data Mascheny uses a skill. So this means we have guaranteed effects for 10 seconds, but could be extended for who knows how long. So pretty cool already, as we can see from here. And we also have the last part, that is what this lightning peel actually does, and that is increase Data Mascheny's attack by 120%, and her HP will not drop below 1. Pretty cool. So this means immortality plus attack increase. Nothing else to say. It's just super long and complicated the way they articulated the lightning peel gauge mechanic, but the effects is pretty straightforward. And we can already see here the Revolution 4 effect, that is decreases the lightning peel gauge reduction rate of front row lightning peel by 3. So from 10 to 7. Pretty good. And this is also why in my recommended level I recently changed it from 3 red to orange 4, because this gives you access to this effect here. This improves your tankiness quite a bit, and I will say that Revolution 4 also has 2 decent subnodes that you could invest in, but I wouldn't do so until you get Revolution 5 and access to the crit rate subnode. So until then, I would say you can just stick with the no investment route and don't worry about it, and you'll be just fine. So yeah, that's pretty much the passive. If we move on to the next skill, we have Discharge. She's going to deal AoE damage. This is just a 400% multiplier, nothing insane. And the enemies hit are stunned for 3 seconds, and she's going to create a Shinsu barrier for 10 seconds. Enemies inside the Shinsu barrier deals 40% less damage to Data Mascheny, and Data Mascheny becomes immune to status effects while using this skill. Pretty good already for the status effect immunity, really important, because if you are crowd controlled, you cannot cast skills and you will not extend the duration of your passive. So this active skill is really nice. The damage taken reduction doesn't really matter, to be honest, because you're immortal. You don't really care if you're taking damage or not. So I don't even know why they added it. They should have done something different to synergize a bit better with our kit, but still fine. Just for the status effect immunity, this skill is pretty nice. Then we have Lightning Spear. This is nothing special. Literally, she's going to dash and deal attack damage to all enemies in the path. And that's about it. She's invincible while dashing. But again, we don't really care. She's immortal anyway. So a bit strange, and also the multiplier, nothing too insane. So I don't know. Just an active skill to further increase the duration of the passive. That's all there is to it. I don't really care about damage, invincibility, just whatever. Then we have the special move. This one is a bit interesting. She becomes invincible, again, no big deal. She's going to teleport to the enemy with the highest attack. This is pretty important. And is going to slam the Great Spear of Dawn into the ground to decrease the magic resistance of enemies hit by 20% for 10 seconds. This one does not stack, even though this is a multi-hit. This is not going to get to 100% magic resistance shred. This is just at 20%. But still pretty nice. It's nothing too high, but definitely good. And then she's going to deal 240% of her attack as damage 5 times. This multiplier is again nothing too insane, but it's definitely okay. The final attack is going to cause a giant explosion with a circular range. That's pretty much it. Then we have Revolution 5 is going to multiply by 2 the final explosion damage of Great Spear of Dawn. Pretty good, and is also going to make it a guaranteed crit. And yeah, I will say the last part, not too important, because if you have a Revolution 5, you're still going to crit with every single hit because of the sub-node, not because of the Revolution 5 effect, but still okay if there are units that cannot take crits in certain scenarios or whatever. This is okay. Nothing insane again, but okay. The damage multipliers here are pretty low, but we have to keep in mind that she has an attack increase in the passive, and she has some really good supports for her in the blue team. So overall, that's not a big issue. And assassins have quite the high base attack. So all in all, she's still going to deal quite a bit of damage. And that's pretty much all for the skills. We can move on to the exclusive equipment. And for the exclusive equipment, we have crit hit rate as the additional stat. Again, assassins have crit hit rate by default in the subnodes in Revolution, so I would have rather this been like a crit damage increase, or I don't know, probably just crit damage increase. But it's okay, we're not going to say no to this. We can just save some points in the subnode in Revolution. That's about it. Then we have the level 1 that's going to add a shocked effect on enemies hit by the lightning spear, and shocked enemies are going to take 50% of that Mascheny's attack as damage every second. Not much of an increase, 150% of that Mascheny attack over the span of 3 seconds. It's okay, nothing insane, but it's quite good. Then we have level 2, again is boosting the decreased damage taken from the Shinsu barrier of the discharge active skill, and this is not too important again, so doesn't matter, I'd say. We have level 3. Discharge cooldown is reset when defeating an enemy with a Great Spear of Dawn. This is the special move, and the cooldown reset is not bad, but if you don't have a Revolution 5 with investment, this is pretty much irrelevant. You're not going to kill enemies with a Great Spear of Dawn. So for a stall tank data Mascheny, this doesn't matter at all. You're not killing, so it's fine. It's just there to allow you to get access to the ignition weapon if needed. But again, if you're just using her as a stall tank, you might as well just leave this a +0. It won't matter. Then we have level 4. Mascheny swiftness increases by 20 when entering the lightning peel state. So when the passive is active, you're also going to get 20 swiftness. Not too big, but definitely a nice increase since you want to spam skills as much as possible. And yeah, that's pretty much the kit, I will say, and the exclusive equipment. So we can move on with the gear The gear is also going to be pretty simple. You don't have to upgrade anything if you're just using her as a stall tank. As we can see here from the mandatory row, there is literally no investment. So yeah. But if you decide to go with a more damage-oriented build, you need accuracy if you're missing hits, like if you don't have enough accuracy to be equal or above the enemy evasion. If you do, you don't even have to level this up. And the second one is going to be crit hit rate and crit damage increase if you're going to start building her for a bit of damage. Otherwise, literally nothing. And the last one you might want to go for is additional resistances, just in case, but doesn't really matter. I would just save these resources, to be honest. Just go with slot 1 and slot 2, and that's it. And yeah, that's pretty much all for the gear as well. If we go over the ignition weapon, you will see that I have an hybrid L and Rihanna. The recommended ignition weapon, well, first I want to mention why here in the preset you see Doris support. Before it was Doris Magic Pierce, but she was the only one running it. So I don't think it makes sense to create a preset for her alone. So if you're just running her as a standard tank unit, Doris support is the way to go. Don't worry about damage, doesn't matter. You just need her to provide utility to your backline DPS, and then she's going to get some additional swiftness so that hopefully she can live a bit longer. That's about it. There is no other reason behind this Doris support. Now, if we want to look at the actual sets you might want to be running on her, when you actually invest in her, these sets are not for a stall tank data Mascheny. This is just for DPS data Mascheny. The best in slot kind of would be an idea set, even though at this point I wouldn't recommend it anymore. And I also wrote it here in the notes. Running a hybrid to Rihanna to Doris, Hell, Upgrund would also be a good option. Actually, should write would be the best option, most likely. Idea is nice, but you don't really need the double special move cast that much. Is more for the two piece effect that gives you effect resistance, because if you can dodge the crowd controls, she's going to last longer in general because she can cast skills and the invisibility is going to be extended. That's the whole reason. Double special move is definitely nice, but not that important. To Rihanna, to something else will be good for PvP purposes, because you want her to be the highest attack unit in your team, so that the enemies that target the highest attack are going to attack her and basically waste their attacks. And that's the idea behind the 2 Rihanna, and also a damage boost is always kind of nice. 2 Doris, 2 L, or 2 Upgrund, they are all pretty much the same. Doris is going to increase in general the spamming rate of the skills and extending the survivability, but this is just a 10 swiftness. Then we have 2L. 2L is just going to increase the frequency of the basic attacks, which in turns give more energy and allow her to cast more special moves. That's about it. And the 2 Upgrund is if you want to capitalize on the fact that she's perma-critting, and then you go with the 30 additional crit damage. Those are more or less the options. You could go with the 2 idea as well for the effect resistance that I was mentioning before. But yeah, those are kind of the variations. There is no best choice, I would say. I'm currently running L because I had better pieces for that, but I think I would rather run Doris, to be honest. Doesn't matter, okay? Just run whatever you have the best pieces of and try to think about this kind of setup. If you have low swiftness, which means below 90, I would say go full Doris, just because it's going to provide value to your backline. You're not going to deal crazy amounts of damage, but at least you're going to provide value to the team, and you're also getting that additional swiftness a little bit. So that would be a good option instead of an idea. The slot 4 and slot 5, I would say crit damage increase, magic pierce, nothing else. You can just build her full damage because she's going to survive anyway. So pretty good and standard build to run, I would say. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the ignition weapons. For the report, this is the only thing that I put as level 4 for the mandatory tier because of swiftness. You're going to get, I think, 25 swiftness from the level 4 report, and this is going to guarantee a better spam of the skills and a longer survivability. So this is mandatory for me. Anything over that is only if you want to go damage and start investing a little bit in that aspect of data Mascheny. Otherwise, you don't even need to hit the enemies. You just need to cast the active skills. And that's pretty much it for report. We can move on to revolution. And we already saw the effects of the level 4. That's going to extend the duration of your invincibility basically. And then we have the perma crit on the last hit and doubling the damage of the last hit of the special move. Nothing special other than the level 4 that's insane. This one is just a slightly increase in damage, but nothing too noticeable. The most important nodes here are going to be a lifesteal, not really that important. Effect hit is nice, actually I would invest like 10 levels in it just to guarantee the magic resistance reduction application. Accuracy only if needed. Crit damage, attack, and crit rate are the most important nodes. This is what allows her to deal damage. And I will say until you have Rainbow 5, you might as well ignore these two slots as well. Attack could be useful if you want to use her as a bait, as I was mentioning before with the 2 Ryan as well. That could be an option for sure, but I would say until you have her Rainbow 5, I wouldn't even bother, because if she's not perma-critting, you're losing out on a ton of damage. So I wouldn't invest anything until you get her to that level. And then for the tier 6, this is going to be super important for the cooldown reduction. I actually would like to take this to level 20, but I'm kind of saving my resources, so I haven't done that yet. But a 30% cooldown reduction on the active skills is pretty good to extend further the invincibility duration. But I would say you don't really need it that much. These other 3 nodes are more important. And the bonus elimination energy on kill is also okay for her to spam, but she's going to spam anyway, kind of, and not a lot of times when the deficit is a bit too high, she's going to have the last hit. So I don't know, I probably would put this for sure lower than the max cooldown reduction in priority, but if you don't want to invest in it, try her without it. You shouldn't see a big difference. So it's nice, but not that important, I will say. And yeah, that's pretty much it for Revolution as well. Now I just wanted to go over Adventure and showcase some clears of both her in the tank version, let's say, so without investment. And for that I have to go quite a bit back. I think it was 7460 as an example, yes. And here we have her in like Orange 4. I don't have any clear with her and no dupes, unfortunately, because it's more than 3 months ago, so we don't have any record anymore. And this is Orange 4 with the Revolution 4, so the recommended tier of investment. And we're going to see that she's going to stay there, survive at no HP for the whole fight, and that's all she does. No big fancy stuff, she's just sitting there and surviving. The damage she dealt was okay, I would say, like we saw in 78 billion or something. It's not too bad. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We can see here she already obviously procced the passive effect. She's at no HP. She's targeting the highest attack enemy and just keep on spamming it. Unfortunately, that enemy is a Viol, so it was invincible for a bit, but that's all there is to it. She's just staying there and surviving. Nothing fancy, nothing special, just a stall tank. And I will say now we can just have a look at the damage variant. Should be this one where she did uh, the same damage pretty much as Kaiser, but she is 20 links lower. And that's something that happens frequently, I will say. Don't look at the rest of the team, it's pretty much weird. Blanc is going to buff her damage a lot with Revolution 5, so Blanc is a super unit to pair with her. Novik is not going to do anything for her, but whatever. We can see that she just immediately dies, or well, goes to no HP whatsoever. Blanc is buffing her, and she's going to there assassinate one unit. She's getting some energy back, then she's assassinating another one. She was still alive a little bit, but then she was killed by the basic attacks, and then she killed another one. So the damage is definitely there. Super good unit. She was heavily buffed by Blanc, so keep that in mind. Then I will say I have some other clears, a bit more recent. Let me see, floor 92. Should be around here, like this one. And here we have this fighter right here. And she did way more damage than Kaiser in this fight. But Kaiser took no damage, so she didn't die. It's just she focused on the wrong enemy, mainly. But we're also going to see the burst damage that Mascheny can deal in this kind of fight. And yeah, Ascar was just there because I was running Hell Train Arena, so I had the ignition weapons on him. And I think that Leroro and Blanc didn't have anything on, but that doesn't really matter. Now we can see here the special move just killed like a couple of enemies. Pretty dope. This one killed, I think, the bull or something. No, probably the bull is the only thing alive there. So she's still there, face tanking, dealing damage. Here we are even at the elemental disadvantage, but that doesn't matter at all. She's still invincible. We are 30 seconds in the fight, and she still didn't die. Pretty cool. And again, as we saw, the damage is definitely nice. She has a bit of AoE in the special move, so the fact that they were all grouped up was pretty good as well. Now, if we look at the next fight, I will say the last one that I wanted to show should be this one. Let's see here, yeah. And also in this case, she did a lot more damage than Kaiser, but it is also because I put her in the highest link. The reason why I put her in the highest link is because she's going to have more attack than Kaiser with Rayana and with the attack subnode investment, so that both Jinsung and Vicente are going to focus on her and not on Kaiser. So that was the plan. She ended up dealing a shit ton of damage, so it's okay. I mean, it's even better. So we're going to see her being grabbed by Vicente, and let's see. Jinsung moved there, then for some reason he was attracted by Escanor, so he started attacking him. Vicente probably even missed the attack on that Mascheny, but that's good. And nothing special. He's just spamming the special move, and here they exploded. So, yeah. I mean, she has a shit ton of damage. She is definitely a huge plus for the blue team. But again, this is what she can do at full investment. You don't need to get her there anytime soon. You can just stick to the stall tank variant and maybe slowly get some dupes here and there. She definitely won't disappoint you when you fully invest in her, but is not a priority from my point of view. So yeah, I hope this video helped clarify a bit how to use this unit and why she's strong. And yeah, let me know if you have any feedback. Feel free to comment down below. If you like the video, please drop a like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.